Oh, is it working now? Oh my gosh, it's working. Wow, I just had to fight with my microphone for a couple of minutes there. Anyway, hi. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Arden and I make art. Today I have a watercolor painting, and this piece is actually a companion piece to a painting I did back in 2018 that I called Persephone, and I actually have a video about that one as well. I will link that in the iCard up above, and you can watch that process and listen to my thoughts on that piece. But today's painting is Dionysus. And this one was actually kind of a commission / request from my wife. I say commission. It was really more of a request because my wife didn't pay me for this. I live with them. We share finances. Anyway, if you're interested in my commissions, shoot me an email over at ardenrachelart@gmail.com with any details, including what medium you want me to do it in and any reference photos for whatever character you are looking to have done. And I can give you a quote, probably starting at $50 plus shipping for a traditional art piece. So this piece, Dionysus, I actually painted this before my wife's recent top surgery, and I did want to include the top surgery scars in the painting because we knew that that was going to be a thing after their surgery. My wife, Belinda, is non-binary. They use they, them pronouns. And yeah, so Dionysus. My wife specifically wanted a painting of Dionysus to kind of go with my Persephone painting that I did years ago. And they specifically wanted one that looked like them because they have this Dionysus cosplay that they do for TikTok. And they haven't filmed as Dionysus very much recently because they wanted to change the costume to look something more like this, but they didn't feel comfortable using this costume because it does have the open vest and just sort of like chest out everything. They didn't want to do that until after their top surgery, which just happened. Was it already 2 weeks ago? It was already 2 weeks ago. It happened 2 weeks ago. Which, yeah, wow. I don't really know how to transition into this whole discussion on gender that I was thinking of doing for the voiceover for this video. But I guess I'll just start talking a little bit about my wife because I love them and they did give me permission to share this story. So yeah, my wife, Belinda, is non-binary. They use they, them pronouns, and they have been out as non-binary in some capacity since 2015. And originally, when they came out in 2015, they made a post on Facebook about how they felt like fluid, somewhere between male and female, like a mix of the two. And they've actually recently told me that they don't really identify like that anymore. That's not an entirely accurate representation of their gender. And they were telling me that after some more self-reflection, more like thinking about it, that they don't really feel like a mix of male and female or like a fluid between them, but rather like just something else entirely. And I can see that. I feel like that sort of goes well into my own thoughts on gender. Like, personally, I don't really believe in the gender binary. I don't think that it's something that can be made into a binary. And I mean, obviously, society has created this binary of like, you're either a boy or a girl, you're either a man or a woman. And that I don't think that really exists. You know, I mean, I do think that gender is a thing, but I think it's a very highly personal and individual thing. You know, I think there is simultaneously no gender and also 7 billion plus genders. You know, I think everybody in the world has their own gender and doesn't really fit into one of the two boxes that we've created for them. And like, I know that some people do fit in a little bit better with either one, but really there is not so much of a difference between men and women. There's not, it's just the way that we've been socialized. And again, that goes back to this having been made up by society. It's all made up. We don't need to subscribe to this. We don't need to have these two distinct categories of human, because they don't really exist. It's a spectrum, and I think the older I get, the more I realize that nothing is really black and white. Nothing is really this or that. There are no binaries in the real world. There just aren't. Any binary that exists is something that was made up by society. It's just something that we decided, it's either this or it's that. It's either black or it's white. It's male or female. And it's like, no, actually, there are lots of things that are in between. It's either day or night. Well, what about dawn? What about dusk? What about twilight? Like, it's not just you flip a switch and all of a sudden it's nighttime. That's not how it works. You have to go through that transitional period of sunset, and that exists, and that's valid. Like, it's a spectrum. It's a whole spectrum of going from this to that. And I think that there are just all of those things that lie on every little point in between. And there are so many of them that it just slides from one side to the other. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all, but it makes sense to me. This also kind of ties into my own journey with gender. I do still use she, her pronouns, but I also consider myself non-binary. I consider myself to be a non-binary woman. I do connect with the feminine and with womanhood more than anything else, but it's more than that, and it's different than that. And I know there are gonna be like conservatives who think that it's all bullshit, and frankly, I don't care, because I don't feel the need to explain myself to anybody about this. This is my life, and this is my experience, and this is how I feel. And I mean, frankly, it doesn't bother me if you still see me as just a woman. I mean, that is part of my gender, and part of me is like, oh, I fooled you into thinking I'm a woman. So there's that. Thank you for affirming my gender. Anyway, yeah, it is more complicated than a binary, and I don't think that gender is really something that anyone else can prescribe to anyone. Like, you can't tell somebody else what their gender is, because you're not inside their head and you don't know how they feel. I think that's the most important thing about this whole thing. I think that's the most important point, is that you cannot tell anybody what their gender is, because you are not them. You can never truly understand their experience and how they are experiencing this life. And I feel like I had another point and I've already lost it. I wrote down notes. For like roughly what I wanted to say, but I think I've just been talking too slowly to catch up with my thoughts. But anyway, I felt like this painting of Dionysus was kind of a good background for this discussion on gender. I feel like that's something that he would be down with. So in conclusion, the gender binary isn't real, and everybody is their own gender. And I hope you liked the painting. I certainly liked it, and my wife likes it, and that's the most important thing, because I painted it for them. So yeah, currently I have this painting hung up in our bedroom. on Belinda's side of the bed, kind of mirroring where the Persephone painting is on my side of the bed. And I think it looks really good. I couldn't find a matching black frame for this one, but I feel like the white frame works for it. So happy little accidents, mistakes. I don't know. Happy little whatever the universe decided. Yeah. I think I'll leave it at that. I've kind of talked myself in circles a little bit, and I will not be taking any criticism on this at all. So, I mean, you can criticize the painting, sure, but like the gender stuff is not really up for discussion or debate. We can discuss it, we can discuss it, but I don't want to hear if you disagree. Basically, if you disagree with me on the gender thing, well, I mean, we can disagree, like, while still being on the same side. Okay, my channel, just, putting this out there before I end this video, my channel is not for TERFs, my channel is not for transphobes. If you believe in the gender binary, you're not gonna like it here, and I don't want to hear your opinion because I frankly don't care. So, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on your gender, your personal gender. I don't want you to talk about other people's genders. That's really, other people's genders are none of our business. But, your relationship with gender, I'd love to hear it. Or what you think about Greek gods or watercolor paintings. Those are all very nice, fun things that we can talk about in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.